Hey there, it's week 26 of season 4 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is A Deal is a Deal. Barney, what's up?
Ulti and Thor, his friends, are each trying to win a Tony by being the one to sell the most jars of miracle salve. But the sales aren't going well. And Ulti comes in the courthouse and tells his daddy that. And Andy says, I told you that stuff wasn't going to be easy to sell. And then I come in the courthouse and Ulti tries to get me to dye another jar. And I say no, I ain't going to dye any more of your salve. It was supposed to be good for crow's feet. I put it on my crow's feet a week ago, and they're still there. And Andy says the sales aren't going well. And I tell Ulti a good salesman can sell anything. I say you just got to get your foot in the door and start talking and never stop. Right, Ange? Here, let me show you.
So you act out your good salesmanship skills to Opie, and Andy says, Opie, just try to make the product sound as good as you can. And Opie says he'll do his best, and he leaves.
And then Andy and I run under those little packets of seeds that we used to sell as toys. And I say I recently found that I still had 5 packs of them. And I try to get Andy to dye them, and he says no. And then later, Ulti's friend Trey says he sent back his unsold jars of salve to the company, and they wrote back and said they were disappointed in him as a salesman, and that now he was on their blacklist. And the boys come in the courthouse, and they ask me what a blacklist is.
And you give them a definition in legal jargon, and then you simplify it, and you say a person on the blacklist won't be able to get a job in the future. And they show the letter to you, and you say, let me think about this.
And after a while I say, I've got it. How do you fight fire? With fire. They scared you with a letter. We're going to scare them back with a letter. A lawyer letter. Sit down, I'll show you. And I dictate to Ulti, from the office of Mr. Bernard T. Fife, attorney at law. Gentlemen, my client, Mr. Trey Doden, has just shown me your letter the 15th. Gentlemen, just what are you trying to pull off here anyway? How dare you threaten a man like Mr. Doden? And I tell them to cease and desist, or we'll see them in court. And the boys don't think a letter will work, they say. And then Andy walks in, and he looks at the letter, and he says it's just intimidation, and he tells the boys not to worry about it. So they feel better and they leave. And then I agree with Andy. He says, yeah, those guys at the salve company are just foxy. And I say, I get it. He just gave me the idea. Foxy, are they? How do you deal with a fox? You outfox a fox. This is a great idea. I don't know why we didn't think of it sooner.
And you want to go to the salve company in Mount Pilot with Andy, but Andy says no and leaves. He doesn't even want to hear the rest of your idea. So you decide to go through with your idea anyway, and you call Gomer and ask him to go with you.
So Gomer and I dress in suits, and we walk into the office of Miracle Salve Company in Mount Pilot. And Gomer tells the man sitting there that he wants to dye some of their salve, and he's Ulti Taylor Sr., and that his son Ulti cured his dog's mange with the salve. And I play the part of the veterinarian, and I verify what Gomer said. And I say we want to dye their salve and sell it to other veterinarians and to drugstores. And the guy goes to get his business partner from the back, and we explain our idea to him too.
Yeah, you say you'll buy all the salve that they have on hand, plus what they can get back from those Mayberry kids, and then you leave.
And then Ulti gets a letter from the company saying to bring all the salve back to the post office at 1 o'clock, and he'll get $1 for his troubles. So he does that, and sure enough, those 2 guys from the company are there to take it up. And Gomer and I watch from the side. And Ulti tells me and Andy and Gomer in the courthouse what he just did, and he shows us the $1 he got. And he says his pa thinks they're going out of business. And I say, yeah, maybe they just found a new use for it. Maybe they discovered it could cure the mange or something like that. And they want to sell it to veterinarians. Right, Gone? And Andy sees that we know something about this, so I start to tell him what Gomer and I did, but first Aunt D calls up, all upset.
Yeah, you go to Andy's house and see that they've delivered 946 jars of salve with a bill for it addressed to Opie Taylor Sr. So Gomer tells Andy what y'all did.
So we moved all the salve to the courthouse, and Andy tells me to get rid of it, and Then I say, will you listen? Will you just listen? I'm going to get it out. Don't worry. I'm going to get rid of it. Then I got to get a plan. You got to give me a little time to make a plan. And then Gunnar brings in all the doys Ulti's age he could find, and I tell them, no, there's not going to be any intimidation. You just go out there and sell that miracle salve, and who knows? You just might be the one to win that pony.
But the boys all get up and leave. So Andy gives you and Gomer each a box of salve to sell. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 27.